Flash has a very cool feature that allows you to take an imported image and then break it apart so that you can then make new parts based on it. So in this instance, I want to take these cow's ears off and then animate them separately from his head. To do that, I'm going to make sure I have it selected. I'm going to go to the Modify menu and choose Break Apart. Now I can grab my lasso tool and I can go ahead and start to trace over one of his ears. So I'll start out here and I'll just grab an ear and I'll just trace over it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to group this ear and we're going to cut it. Edit, cut. And then we're going to create a new layer. And then I'm going to select this frame here and go Edit, Paste in Place. So now the ear is right back where it started. Now I also want to make sure I rename this layer Head so I don't get too confused here. And then I want to make sure the head layer is on top of the ear layer. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this ear. I'm going to grab this ear, just trace over it like we did with the first one here. And we're going to do the same thing and we're going to cut this ear. And then we're going to go to a new layer. And then once again select the frame here and we're going to paste in place. And we want to make sure that this ear is also behind the head and we're going to group it as well. We also need to turn these ears into symbols so we can animate them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the head layer and then I'm going to grab this ear and I'm going to press F8 on the keyboard and turn it into a symbol. Make sure I have the right name here. Yes, it's ear 1. And then what I'm going to do is make sure I have my free transform tool. I'm going to grab this dot right here and look at the mouse very quickly. I have an arrow here but no circle under it. When I put it by the pivot point, I get a circle under the arrow, which means I can click and hold my mouse down and then move this pivot point. So I can have the ear move from where I want it to. So I'm going to put it right about here. So when I rotate the ear later on, it'll rotate from here. I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. I'm going to turn it into a symbol. Press F8. Ear 2. I'm going to click, and don't forget I have the free transform tool selected. I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag this registration point or pivot point right there. And now I can animate this. So I'm going to go to frame 10, insert keyframe, F6 on the keyboard. I'll click this ear. Make sure I have my free transform tool only on this ear here. And I'm going to move it down like this. And I'm going to come to this ear, and we're going to move it up. Well, actually, down too. Now, let's go ahead and insert motion tween on this frame. And motion tween on this ear as well. And let's rewind. And now you have a little animation going on with the cow's ears. And now you can move the layer, and now you can have the ears covering the eyes. So you can play around with that as well. It's a very cool feature.